All right, next up on Ask Chubby, Richard McNicoll Jr. wants to know, aside from the buyouts, who do I think was responsible for the downfall of both ECW and WCW? Let's start with WCW. I think the man responsible was the man that got them there, Eric Bischoff. I think Bischoff, who did amazing things with that company, with what he was given, he did like what Vince did. He took the bull by the horns, ran with it, and created something magical. But then he also killed it at the same time. It's kind of, let's relate it like weight loss. It's almost kind of like, I'm not going to say it's easy, but you can get to your goal weight. But maintaining your goal weight is a lot harder than getting there. So Bischoff got there for 83 weeks, but could not maintain it, and basically imploded the company with everything he was doing. And I think also, too, his ego got the best of him. And I think he fell into that syndrome where he became one of the boys and thought he was one of the boys and a big star, So I think I'm going to put the blame on Bischoff for WCW, and for ECW, without a doubt, it's Paul. Because Paul was building this amazing thing, this historic, legendary thing, but it wasn't like what Eric or Vince had, where they both had teams behind them. Paul had Dreamer, and Taz. It's a far cry from, what the big boys had. They had full freaking teams. Like, their teams were the size of the ECW locker room. And to do the deals he was doing, which he was doing video games. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. He was doing video games. He was doing action figures. He was doing all this stuff like the big boys, and he couldn't put them over the hump. He was doing pay-per-view. TV deals screwed him up. So he needed the proper people in place to help him keep things going in place. And I think something else that really hurt him was when they tried to go national. He was paying too much money, because now you're paying for travel for all these guys, and it was just too much money going out, not enough coming in naturally, and just bad money management. And it's hard to do all those things, and also then on top of it, try to run the product. So sadly, Paul was to blame for ECW's demise, just like Eric was to blame for WCW's demise.